teach at Northwest Class in high school, and right down the hall I taught from Sally Curran, and all of the things that she's saying about what goes on with gay people in high schools is all made up. She knew me as a good teacher, she acknowledged me as a good teacher, so Sally, I don't know why you're making this stuff up. It's just not true.
Mel, what does it mean to be gay in Oklahoma?
It means a lot of things. It means community, it means solidarity, it means coming together, it means really making an effort to show your support for your own community. It means really having to make that effort.
And how long have you lived in Oklahoma?
5, 6 years this time.
5, 6 years? And where'd you come from?
Well, I was born here.
Born here?
I was born here, and I grew up here for a little bit in California and Illinois and kind of all over.
And compared to those other states, how does it compare as being a lesbian?
In some of the states it was a lot easier, in places in California and San Francisco, but in some of the places it was even harder. I think because we have such a small community, we do so well with knowing each other and with coming together, and in some of those other places they are so large that there really is no community at all.
And stuff. So it feels like a close-knit family over here.
Very much so.
And that's why you live in Oklahoma, right?
Very much so. Definitely for the people. Definitely.
It's pretty flaggy out there.
Thank you.
You know, it's probably very multicolored. Hey, would you like to say something to Sally about who you are and why you live in Oklahoma or something like that?
Well, who I am is Scott, and why I live in Oklahoma is because it's a great state, but it does have its drawbacks, much like the religious right and the conservatism that goes on in the state and the country as a whole that holds our country back from being something that could be much better than what it already is.
Well, that's cool. Thanks, Scott.
Hi Sally, this is Terry. I actually wrote you a letter, which I don't know if you read or not, but basically, I basically wanted to respond to the statements that you made in regards to how we're like terrorists, and at the same time, I also wanted to state that, you know, you have to think about the fact that Hitler and Bin Laden started off with their little quiet meetings of their people, and then they basically took their fear, their hatred and their anger and turned it into terrorism that we experience in the world today. So my question to you, Sally, is who's really the terrorist?
It's being a human being just as much as anybody else. What gives anybody the right to tell a person who they are and what they are? You know, they don't even know. You know, it's just, to me, it's just ridiculous because a human's a human. And God says, love everyone, no matter what they are, who they are. As long as we all stand up for peace, there wouldn't be so much violence, hate, suicides, because kids can't handle the insults that they get at the schools. I've known many kids who have died because of the fact that they can't survive in this world with people hating them so much. You know, I just can't see that. You know, God made everyone for who they are. We're all put on this earth for a purpose. And let us do our purpose. Just let us do our purpose. That sounds good.
Right on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know, we're always hearing people talking about the gay agenda, and I know there are probably gay people in here who may or may not know exactly what that is, and we probably got some straight supporters who don't know exactly what that is. OGLPC put out our pink paper several years ago, and there's some up on the table there that talks about the issues we're concerned about and the issues that we work on. If you want to know that, pick those up. We have got to stop letting the people who hate us define us. And if you are not registered to vote, we have voter registration at the table. And if you know anybody who's not registered to vote, please encourage them to get registered to vote. Because that's the one thing some of these people care about, is if you're a voter, you know, they don't care. If you're a voter, they may start paying attention. And I think one of the reasons they feel free to do this is they think we don't vote and our enemies do. We have to change that. We'll also tell you, I've got a cue card being held up by a friend who can beat me up. So Although she wouldn't, she's a peace advocate. But next Tuesday, March 18th, at the state capitol, there is another rally sponsored by PFLAG, the Human Rights and GLAAD. And so please, the Human Rights Campaign and GLAAD, please do come to that. We also cannot let this be a tempest that stirs up for 2 or 3 days and dies down and gets forgotten. We have to keep doing this, saying it's unacceptable until she gets it, and she ain't got it yet.
No, that's right.
And Chris Binge, the Speaker of the House, he don't have it yet. So we have to make sure that they get it. We have to make sure that they start listening to us. They're not doing that now.
Margie!
Okay. This is not original with me. It's just what everybody knows. I do know what the gay agenda is. The gay agenda is about 14 words, and it is, we want all the rights that everybody else has, and we want them now.
Yeah. Right.
We are not second-class citizens.
Not second-class citizens at all, but you know what? They can't give us equality. We have to stand up and take it.
That's correct.
Now, here's Jim Nimmo with Stonewall Democrat.
Yay, Jimmy!
Thank you, Darla. I love you. I want to know who does Sally Kern's hair. Whoever it is, I want them to return the toaster. Like many of you, I've seen the 20-minute segment on YouTube, and I feel that the real danger is not from terrorism or the Islamic religion, but I feel the real danger is Sally Kern herself. Yep. She keeps referring to the home, the family, and traditional marriage, but what is her own personal home life like? I think some of you have heard rumors that it's not quite on the up and up. She is not enforcing in her own life the rules that she thinks we should be living by. And I would like to know why she is not introducing bills that would eliminate divorce. Divorce is the opposite of marriage, and it frequently causes distress to children. And what is she doing about this refutation of traditional marriage? She couches her diatribes in the words of the First Amendment, but she fails to make specific references to peer-reviewed studies or professionally qualified experts. And I think this is like yelling fire in a crowded theater. She can say these things if she wants, yes, but as a legislator representing taxpayers, she's way off base. And thank you for attending, and keep tuned for further development.
In a state that clearly does not respect the safety or rights of gays, lesbians, bisexuals, and transgendered people, saying what she's been saying is tantamount to calling for crimes against gays, lesbians, bisexuals, and transgender people. We can't let this go on. So I'm glad. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Sally, did you have anybody else?